Good day to you. This is Letitia Hinton with Soul Spread Wisdom. And today I am recording a Synastry reading for the great Beyonce, the Queen, and her husband, JayZ. So I have taken these charts from astro.com and drafted them up with some basic information that is publicly online for the both of them. And I have placed the charts side by side so that we can just take a look and see how the planets and the chart placements of these two individuals have affected each of their lives, what their energy based on their planetary alignments have brought into their lives. So this is a relationship reading. And so for those of you who are not familiar with the circle chart that we have in Western astrology, this is it. This is what it looks like. And so in relationship synastry, you typically place the charts, one chart on top of the other, and then you can see where the planets are affecting the other person in their house. So for this, we're going to start. Here's JayZ's chart here. I used a time that was available online, so there's a consensus that he was born about 12:10 a.m. And we have December 4th, 1969 in Bronx, New York. Beyonce, we have September 9th, 1981, 10 a.m., Houston, Texas. Okay. So we have for JayZ, we have a Virgo rising, Pisces on the descendant. For Beyonce, we have a Libra rising with Aries on the descendant. Okay. So we're going to first take a look at the moon. So why are we looking at the moon first? Because the moon shows how we feel living at home with a person, how we are most comfortable. The sun is what we show to the world. The moon represents that place where we feel nurtured, where we feel safe, where we feel, warm and toasty inside. So for JayZ, we find that he has a moon here in the sign of Libra at 5 degrees. Okay, so for him, we know that the moon being the most comfortable place for him, he has the most comfortable feeling when he is around beauty, when he is socializing, being diplomatic, being kind to others, having this this need for justice and things to be done right. But the most important thing is beauty and peace. And this is a person who doesn't feel comfortable with arguing. Okay. For Beyonce, she has her moon here in the sign of Scorpio. And Scorpio has a need for a deep need for someone she can trust. Scorpio moon people are prone to needing quiet time alone, being able to think deeply, probe and research things. There is a possessiveness that is tied to the Scorpio moon. And you would think that a Scorpio moon and a Libra moon would have a challenging time together. But one of the significant things that they have very similar here is that they both have Uranus conjunct their moons. So with Uranus conjuncting the moon, because Uranus is such a powerful outer planet, it is going to change or alter the nature of this natural Scorpio moon. So is the Scorpio moon still possessive? Yes, but much less so because Uranus is conjunct the moon. Uranus brings this need for freedom and acceptance of freedom. And JayZ has the same thing here. So home is a place where you are, for the both of them, where you are able to come and go as you please. They both travel a lot. He may be in one part of the world, she's at another part of the world. This is the nature of the relationship as it started, because they were both in the industry of show business when the relationship started. So they both traveled a lot, but there's an excitement of coming together. So, but they both need this type of freedom. She needs the commitment of the marriage, to say you are mine, but she also needs the freedom at the same time. Libra, being an air sign, needs freedom, uh, just on its own. And then when you add in Uranus to the situation, there is this need for freedom. They both have a brilliance about them, because when you combine Uranus with the moon, when Uranus is conjunct the moon, there is an absolute brilliance to the person. Beyonce's moon we have is at 20 degrees, Uranus is at 26 degrees, so there is a 6-degree orbit. But JayZ's is closer. The orbit is closer. He has a 5-degree moon and an 8-degree Uranus. So there is an absolute brilliance to him. It is sitting in the first house. I'm using a Placidus chart because that is what came up. But if we were using whole house, this would be in his second house of income, making income, earning money. The same with Beyonce. It would be second house. And so for both of them, there is a brilliance that they have individually, not even coming together, in earning money. The second house is self-value, how you earn money, how you see yourself in the world, because earning money is tied to how you feel about yourself. And Uranus brings the both of them independently a brilliance to them in making money, because it is in the second house in the whole house system. And so for Beyonce, having the moon conjunct Uranus in the sign of Scorpio, she is, and as we've seen in her song, she's able to go to these deep, dark places. Like she did the song Ghost, and so many songs that she's done. Right now, I love Beyonce. I'm a fan. But at the moment, some of the names are escaping me. But so much of her work is deep and dark, and there is a great mysteriousness about her and a lot of her work. Not to mention that she has all of these planets here in the 12th house in the sign of Libra. And the 12th house is this very spiritual place. And we hear a lot of her spirituality. There was a song that she just released called Black Parade, and we can hear the tie that she has to her ancestors, and the Yoruba tradition. She talks about Oshun and her sister with Yemaya, which are African deities of the West African tradition of Yoruba. So we hear them talking about that. And that appreciation for that spirituality is definitely linked to these 12 house planets here, and also the Scorpio moon. Definitely. So the moon here comes into JayZ's second house. Beyonce's moon in the sign of Scorpio comes here in this particular chart into the second and third houses. So in the third house, if we were looking at whole house, The third house sign, third sign from Virgo, is going to be Scorpio. So when we place this moon here in JayZ's third house, there is a way that Beyonce is able to communicate with JayZ. She is able to be his friend. She is able to be his best friend, because when you have the moon in your partner's third house, there is a feeling like you are from the neighborhood. You understand me. You understand my jokes. You know, we can sit down and eat. We love to watch the same movies. We love to just kick back together, eat a lot of the same foods, laugh and joke. We love the same old movies. They love to have deep conversations. He feels like he can talk to her about the deepest and darkest things, about his greatest fears. He's able to bring those to her because her moon comes into his third house of communication, and it's in the sign of Scorpio. So many of the fears that he has had, probably from childhood, probably, experiences that he had growing up in a dangerous neighborhood, the experiences that he had with selling drugs and so forth, he was able to freely express those things to her and not feel judged. And he's able to go deep with her. And then by the same token, his moon in the sign of Libra comes over here into her 12th house. So there is an appreciation for spirituality that they share together. So their spiritual beliefs, they feel comfortable together with them, as this comes into her 12th house of spirituality, her subconscious mind, her deepest fears. 12th house, those things that you don't even know are there. Your dreams. They probably share dreams together with his moon, the sensitive place of the moon, and familiarity coming into her 12th house. They share, this deep spirituality. Again, probably having dreams at the same time, dreaming about some of the same things, knowing and experiencing some of the same spiritual events. Again, we hear her talking about her ancestors, ancestor veneration. We've been recently hearing that from her. And this is, I'm sure, something that they both share. So, sometimes in a relationship, you have one partner who doesn't have the same spiritual beliefs as another person. One person may be Catholic and the other person may be Jewish. I've met a couple like that, but they make it work. These two, they share their spirituality. It is a very close link for them, and has been from the very beginning. So that is something for them that makes them feel very close. Not only that, her Mercury, Beyonce's Mercury, at 2 degrees of Libra, is going to be conjunct, meaning joined together with JayZ's moon. Again, this is another sign that they can talk about anything. They share the deepest secrets. She can share with him the things that she's afraid of, and he can share with her the things that he has that cause him to stay up at night. And they share this great communication together on deep spiritual things, past hurts and traumas. And not only that, where do we want to go in the future? They bring a healing to each other in actuality with their words that they have. There is this place of rest, first and foremost, that they find with each other. Her Saturn is conjunct his moon. So on the positive side, her Saturn being joined up to his moon, it causes a stability for him. On the negative side, he could find that she's overly critical. Saturn is very hard. Saturn can be very cold. Saturn can be cruel. So she could be hurting him, you know, oftentimes hurting his feelings. The moon is very sensitive. She could be hurting his feelings with things that she says to him, or ways that she behaves unconsciously, because her Saturn is in the 12th house. It could be something that is unconscious to her that she is doing or saying that hurts him and may cause him to want to pull away. Also, her Jupiter here is conjunct his moon. Her Jupiter is at 12 degrees. So that Jupiter balances out that Saturn. If it were just Saturn alone, it could be super, super cold and be a place where it could push someone away. But because Jupiter is there, Jupiter brings this benevolence and it expands whatever it touches. So as his moon comes here into her 12th house, it causes him to feel larger, feel even safer, feel even more comfortable, feel like he can rest in this place, rest with her, find home with her, find safety, find spirituality. Oh, what did he say in one of those songs that they did on the Carter album? Where he was basically saying, I think it was called, oh Lord, I cannot think of the name, but I know that he was saying, I want to lay in your hair. He was just talking about her really, her her womb. If I could just stay here forever, just stay inside of you, just stay with you, just lay on your hair, and just be with you forever. That is that feeling that his moon has with her Jupiter. And then Venus is here for her. So he feels loved. He feels nurtured. He feels expanded. He feels at home in solitude with her. They can just kick back, no cameras, no nothing. And this man feels completely safe and at home with her. And he said in one of those songs that they did together, if I ain't lying, if the house burning, me and my wife beefing, I'm not leaving, because he feels so safe with this woman. He feels so secure with her, and that's what you have with them together. That's the feeling he gets. Now let's see. Her moon comes over here, and it is conjunct his Neptune. So here's her moon in Scorpio. It comes over here to his third house. He has Jupiter sitting here at 28 degrees. So this, being with him, and we heard her say this, he expanded her creativity, because Neptune is going to bring in more creativity. It rules writing songs. It gives the ability to be creative in artwork and to tap into the spiritual realm and hear the things that you have not heard before. And she said that once she, began working with Jay, once they started dating, once he came into her life, that Neptune started affecting her moon in her ability to tap into the deep and be creative with what it is that she is writing and what it is that where she's earning money. And we saw that when she came out with Crazy in Love, JayZ was there. She said that he added more grit to her work, helped her go deeper, help her tap into a deeper place. And that was because his Neptune is here, and also his Venus is here in the sign of Scorpio, touching her moon, affecting her moon, affecting her intuition, her nurturing of her music, being able to go to a deep place. So his Venus is love and how he loves, and is tapped in to her moon. So they're able to go to these deep creative places together. and vice versa. So for her, with her moon coming over here again to his third house, there is this friendship that is here. There is this ability to create together. We've seen them perform together. They're able to travel together. They're able to make money together, because the third house is the house of business, small businesses and so forth. And so both of them, business wise, have been able to do more. They added to each other. You have some relationships that will take away from you, but this is a relationship that has added. Each individual coming together, the planetary alignments have beautifully come together to help them add to each other. Okay, so let's see what else we have. So then we have his sun here in the sign of Sagittarius at 11 degrees. So for all of her planets that are in this sign of Libra, but we have Jupiter here in particular. Jupiter being here in her 12th house makes a sextile to his sun. So a sextile is an easy way of getting along. The planets and the signs work easy together. So we have Jupiter and the sun. Her Jupiter is sextile his sun. So that means that she makes him feel bigger. So we have the aspect where his moon is coming over here with the Jupiter, and then the sun is being affected by the Jupiter. So she not only makes him feel bigger, but her presence actually expands him. The fact that he is able to just sit with her and be alone with her, 12th house. He is able to be home with her. He's able to communicate with her. Sagittarius is his 4th house. We're looking at whole sign houses. In his 4th house is the house of home, the house of family. Absolutely, this would be somebody that he would marry, because his son at home, she makes him shine. She makes him feel like the king of the castle. She makes him feel safe. She makes him feel like a hero. She expands his life. Her coming into his life is a great expansion for him. And we know that they were even able to turn the sourness of infidelity into a moneymaker, into an expansion. You know, they were able to make art out of it, out of the infidelity that he had going on. Okay. So let's take a look more. Let's look at his Mars in Aquarius, since we were talking about infidelity. So Mars in Aquarius by itself is a sign that Mars is rules sexuality and shows how you want to, how you need to have sex, what you are looking for in sex. Okay. And in the sign of Aquarius, Mars and Aquarius typically, like, they won't leave their partner necessarily if they've made a commitment, because Aquarius is fixed, but they typically do need some more excitement. They need things to change. They need a freedom. They need to explore. They need to, you know, do some different things, menage a trois. They need to, change it up, change the wig up. Let's change locations. Let's get it out of the bed. Let's go to some other places and do some other things. Okay. So Mars and Aquarius, like I said, they can be prone to doing some cheating. So her Mars is in the sign of Leo, which is fixed as well, and it is opposite the sign of Aquarius. So the sexual needs for her and the sexual needs for him can be in opposition. Where she needs to be the king of the jungle sexually, and he may need to do some exploration sexually. It's an air sign. and it can be detached. And this is a fire sign, and very dominant and needed to be the boss. Okay. And it's at 1 degree. So it is absolutely needing to lead the show. Um, and perhaps this is something that, it may have been challenging to him and caused him to need to just step out and explore. But he absolutely had no desire to leave her, nor to leave his family, as I heard him say. He's got cancer in the 10th house. So the 10th house here represents what your reputation is. And his reputation is about being a family man, for sure. For sure. Being a family man, even though the MC is here in Gemini, showing that he, has an ability to talk and rap, absolutely. But the 10th house, this reputation is about being tied to his family. So he has no desire to leave his family, but sexually, he just wanted to have some different experiences. And he did, but he weighed it out, what it was worth to him, and said, it wasn't worth my leaving a legacy, Cancer, leaving a legacy of destruction and sadness for my family. So he got it together. He pulled it together. And of course, Mars being a fixed sign, she had no desire, or no desire to leave her marriage. Mars, the Scorpio moon here, is very committed. Even though, Uranus can be one that will move around, this moon in Scorpio wants to stay. And then she has Scorpio here on the MC. And so for her, family is everything. And she too. So her reputation here is one that is a family. For sure. Her 10th house here is in Leo. Mars is here. So she's known as a performer, but she's also known as a family person. Tied to her family, tied to her roots. She always celebrates that. And so does JayZ. He's very tied to his friends. If you listen to the songs, he talks about the friends, he talks about the family, and his friends are like family to him as well. And we can see that here in his chart because the 11th house cusp is in the sign of Cancer. Okay, so what else do we want to look at? So her sun, Beyonce's sun, in the sign of Virgo at 11 degrees comes over here to JayZ's first house. And so in the whole house system, it comes into his first house. So for her, he immediately, when she saw him, when she met him, she was drawn to him. And her sun, lights him up. It lights up his body, brings him fire. He, of course, finds her very sexy and very attractive, but she also finds him very attractive and very handsome because this is his body and her sun is lit up. So this is a very powerful connection that they have that links them together as far as staying together. Okay. One of the other important things, his Saturn is here in the sign of Taurus. So Saturn is the glue in a relationship. It will keep you together when a lot of other things won't keep you together. When you have other challenging things in your chart, in the Synastry chart. So his Saturn makes a trine, which is a very beautiful, harmonious aspect to her sun. So the Saturn trine, Virgo sun, Saturn in Taurus, trining her Virgo sun is something that locks them in together and keeps them in this relationship. Okay, it is a sign of marriage and a commitment. There's no commitment if there is no Saturn linkages between the placements. And the Saturn sun is one that can lock you in. for the long haul. Okay. And then let us see what else. So this Saturn squaring the Mars shows his Saturn is squaring her Mars. So this shows where there can be challenges sexually, because Mars rules how you want to have sex. Saturn can bring restrictions and make it where you're not able to just lock in together and bring everything together the way that you want it to. It can be some challenges, a timing. Okay, you're out of time, you're out of town, so we're not able to get together. I really miss you. I want to be with you. I want to touch you. And so this can bring challenges sexually. Saturn square Mars, because Taurus and Leo are square. So that can bring some challenges sexually. And then let's see what else we have here. Some of the key points that we have. So we have here her Neptune is making a conjunction to his Mercury. So again, here's another linkage but for the creativity that we have. His Mercury is how you communicate, how he comes up with his lyrics and songs, and her Neptune inspires him. She is a muse for him to create beautiful rap songs and other things. And at the home, at home, he's able to come up with beautiful things when they are together and working together. And same for her, because his Neptune, as we discussed, is making a conjunction with her moon. So this is a very powerful couple that comes up with great ideas together. They come up with great ideas together for the home, for business, making money, making art. They have a strong connection in doing so. Okay. And let's see if there's anything else that stands out. I'm already at 32 minutes. I could go on. And I might just keep going, because whoever wants to listen will. If they're interested in this particular topic, then you will listen and see what is going on. So his Jupiter, sitting here in the sign of Libra, is making a conjunction with her Venus. So not only does she make him feel bigger, he makes her feel more beautiful. Here's Venus. More loved. She feels so much love when she's with him, and vice versa, because Venus and Jupiter are the two benefic signs in the in astrology, in the zodiac. And her Venus, which rules love and money and self-esteem and self-worth, is expanded by his Jupiter when they come together. So being with him was the best thing for her in all of those areas. So here we have his North Node in the sign of Pisces. His North Node is in Pisces, and hers is in Leo. And so for him, the North Node shows where you are meant to go. So he is meant to go towards spirituality. And his moon coming in here to her 12th house, she helps him go towards spirituality. Their children that she has born him, because she has a 5th house in the sign of Pisces, helps him go more towards spirituality. And you can hear him when you listen to his interviews. You can hear him becoming more spiritual, becoming more spiritually sensitive, and it absolutely happens. The more he spends time with her, he comes to appreciate spirituality more. Having his children, and a lot of people have that experience when they have children. They see God and spirit in a different way, because it is so amazing that they have created life. Um, so that happens there. And then her North Node here in the sign of Leo, she came here to be a performer, and she has done it. Her South Node was in the sign of Aquarius. And normally people move towards their North Node later in life, but she has Mars here with the North Node, and it has helped her do it. It helps her create something new. She has a 0 degrees North Node in Leo in the 10th house at the top of the sky. So it is her reputation. She came to be on the stage. The soul came to be on the stage. And she absolutely has done just that. Absolutely. Amazingly so. Okay, let's see if there's anything else that I want to see. Her 7th house is the sign of others. The partner that you marry is in the sign of Aries. And her, of course, the man that she married is a fire sign. He is a leader. He doesn't have anything except Chiron in the sign of Aries, but he is a fire sign. So this shows that she would marry somebody who is an absolute leader, who is a self-starter, who is a boss. And he is a fire sign, as a Sagittarius, has Mercury there, and the sun in fire. And he is a boss, absolute boss, absolute leader. And he shows that he would marry and partner up with a woman who is very spiritually sensitive, who is a highly spiritual person, who is an empathic person, and she absolutely is, with all of these planets here in the 12th house. She absolutely is that person. And also having this MC in the sign of Cancer, which is very emotional and spiritual and empathic. Okay, so that is all that I'm going to share today on this particular Synastry reading, and I'm going to share some more. And thank you for listening.